Well, the obvious question to open up this is why. I mean, this is we've already have other casinos in the city. I mean, in the state. Why do we need a sixth casino?
Well, I'm not sure I can answer the question about why a sixth casino, because I think that came along with the table gamings.
Right.
But I think the table gamings is a huge add to the vitality of the gaming business in Maryland. All the surrounding states have it. I used to do a lot of business in Las Vegas, and I always said to then Mayor O'Malley and then to Governor O'Malley, if you want to see a big catalyst for change in a community, look at what has happened in Connecticut with a casino that has everything. Because when you add table gamings, I think you broaden the market, and it allows you to bring in other amenities as well. So I think table gaming across the state is going to be a huge advantage for the casinos, for the state, and offer a lot more to the visitor market as well.
And when you're adding table gaming as well, you're adding bodies. You need dealers. You need everything else with it too.
Well, it adds jobs, of course. It adds 500 more jobs here in Baltimore. I think it adds a couple thousand over the whole state. So for me, the whole business of the casinos in Maryland are two things: economic development, jobs, and education. And I think all three of them are positively fulfilled by this legislation because it adds more jobs, it'll add more money for education, and for economic development, I don't think people have focused yet on the spin-off benefits that you're going to see from adding particularly a casino in Baltimore. I think if this casino is done right, it could have an impact like Harbor Place did in 1980. I think there'll be a lot of spin-off benefits. I think that whole segment of town would see a lot of redevelopment. The corridor between M&T Stadium and the casino, I think, would have an explosion of additional development. Because people build restaurants down there. Certainly a hotel is going to be built down there. So I think you'd see spin-off effects that would be enormous.
Well, I mean, one of the criticisms, though, is that when you have a casino, it's sort of contained, that people may not necessarily leave to go to a restaurant nearby, or they may not leave to go somewhere else like that. I mean, that's...
Well, most of the other casinos are somewhat remote. This is going to be the only casino that's got access to the city, right? The other casinos, David Cordy's casino, sits adjacent to a shopping center out in the suburbs. This is going to be the one that has the opportunity to connect to the city, to have people that are going to the casino also going to sporting events, also going to restaurants. I think there's going to be a lot of spin-off value from the casino in Baltimore that you won't see elsewhere.
Will the casinos, part of that spin-off will also mean an increase in, I guess, state taxes? What the state will be able to take and use for programs?
Well, as you know, this is
slots are the moneymaker. Table games are something a little different.
Well, they still get taxed pretty substantially. And the overall tax burden, I think, for no matter how you align it here in Maryland, is going to be one of the highest in the country. But for me, the big benefit is to see $200 million flowing into education, which is one of the critical needs in the state and particularly in the city. That's a huge resource. Where else are we going to get that?
We've got the economic development standpoint, but one of the criticisms has also been the fact that it hurts a community. When you expand gambling, you expand some of the problems that are associated with gambling, whether it is addiction, gambling addiction, those types of things. I mean, if we to expand gambling, is that somehow going to be balanced out here?
Well, I don't know that I've seen evidence of the negative spillover that you're talking about, because I did a lot of business in Las Vegas, community development business with the Rouse Company. We had a big community out there like Columbia. It was called Summerlin. One of the biggest advantages that we put into Summerlin was we put in a full-scale casino. Now, it was not focused on the strip visitor. It was focused on the region around Summerlin. It led to additional restaurants, it led to a hotel, and I don't think there was a lot of negatives that came out of that casino, because people went there not only for gaming, but they went there to dine, they went there for the entertainment, they went there to be there because it just had a great sense of place. And I think Baltimore is going to have the same thing.